Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge that we are in Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Innu, Cree, and Dakota peoples, and in the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. My name is Lynn Nesbitt, and I'll be chairing the panel today. Joining me on the panel is Adila Del Oro, also joining us by Zoom, and Randy Virey, who is in the committee room. Our assessor today is Tanya Sharp, and our administrative personnel is Jaswinder Kumar. We will be hearing applications for revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we'll limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by Council and is independent of it and the City Administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note, the Board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the Board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I'll confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony, followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all of the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the Board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You'll receive the Board's order or Board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. We'll be hearing items 4, 7, and 8 on our docket today. I understand that an applicant is not present at this time for item 4. We'll move number 4 to the back of the agenda and we'll start with item 7. Mr. Kumar, please affirm the assessor's and the applicant's testimony.
Yes, Madam Chair. Madam Assessor, please stand. May I have your full name? Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please sit. Mr. Applicant, please stand up. State your full name.
Eugene Stanley William Copeland.
Thank you. Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You can please sit.
Thank you very much, and welcome Ms. Sharp and Mr. Kolench. First on our agenda is item number 7414 Bonner Avenue. So, Ms. Sharp, when you're ready, you may begin presenting your evidence.
Thank you. This is for roll number 04 001302800414 Bonner Avenue, located in 418 River East. Before I begin my presentation, I would like to request that the burden of proof be reversed to the applicant based on 53(3)(a) of the Municipal Assessment Act. It states that where an applicant fails or refuses to give an assessor a reasonable opportunity to inspect the property, the board shall, at the hearing of the application, place the burden of proof on the applicant on all matters at issue. There is an email that is attached to the documents that I brought in.
Have we seen this email, Ms. Sharp?
It's in your package that I sent in for coverage. It's dated September the 7th at the top.
Okay, well, we're going to have to recess and consider this first. So if we can please close this meeting so that we can discuss this matter. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. And thank you for your patience while we had our deliberation. We do find in favor of the assessor. The assessor has the right to enter property for the purposes of an inspection. And we find that the assessor made a reasonable request to do so. So, Mr. Collins, we're going to start with you giving your evidence first. I will read in the roll number and the street address, and then you can begin your evidence, okay? So we will start with roll number 04001302800414 Bonner Avenue. So Mr. Collins, you can start your evidence. You can tell us about your property and why you believe that the assessment is too high.
Okay, first things first is that I just wanted to go on the record that that you've switched to burden of proof, but you never gave me an opportunity to explain my side as to why. So I would like that on record.
Okay, please go ahead and explain.
Yes, she did ask to come into the property, and she said from Monday to Friday from 9 to 4. Well, unfortunately, I work, and I work Monday to Friday, 8 to 4:30. And on her email, she only stressed Monday to Friday from 9 to 4. She never gave me an opportunity to say what other day, what works for you. She just gave me her time that was available, not mine. So she never considered at any point as to me actually working the time that she wants to come into the house. So that's part of where the big problem comes in.
Okay, thank you very much for clarifying that.
Right. Okay. As I will give the evidence, there was I got my assessment in January, and I got the pamphlet and got told, okay, you can call and do a preliminary with an assessor. And I did, and it was Carson. I don't know where he is or who he was, but I don't know if Tanya took over for him or where. So we had a discussion about the property, and the first thing that he said to me is about the addition, the 709 square feet addition on the property. And so he's going, that is the reason why we've upped your taxes so high, is for that addition. And I said, well, do you realize that I tore down the 704 square foot addition? And he said, no, he did not know, even though he was a city, I assume he was the assessor before Tanya came back, that he did not know that. And they based the big jump from 249 to 316 based on the addition, which I need to explain that actually the reason for it was to tear down that part of the house or that half of the house was the fact that the basement was crumbling and was falling in. So I was left with no choice but to demo that to rebuild the basement, because obviously it was starting to affect the part of the house that's been left existing. So I have showed pictures to the board and to everybody else a couple of pictures. Right, a couple of pictures of showing of the house in the demolition mode.
Okay. Can you
Right.
explain to us what we're looking at here?
Sure. One of the pictures is of a tractor in the hole where the basement is. I don't know if you guys can see the full picture.
I think I'm looking at the bucket of a tractor on the
Yeah,
right hand
that's the
side.
bucket. Basically,
Yeah.
that shows a picture of the tractor in what used to be my basement on that side of the house. So, yes. So the thing is that I did not. So I took down a 700 square footed section of the house, and I rebuilt the same 704 square feet addition. Like basically, I rebuilt that section of the house. So my assessment, I did not increase the value of the house. I maintained the value because obviously, if the basement would have caved in and that part of the house would have caved in, the assessment would be now obviously lower. It's like the same thing if I replace the shingles on the roof so it doesn't leak. I'm not increasing the value, I'm maintaining the value of the property. And that is what I did, is I maintained the value of the property. And as one of the City of Winnipeg pamphlets that I've also taken is that I'll just read off the section that can may assessment be revised? And it goes on to say that it can be. And the first thing is that it says, the first part says it says omitted characteristics, new construction, demolition may be changed via section 14.2 of the Municipal Act, which means that they were basing their assessments solely on an addition, not the demolition of the same square footage. So, and that is my testimony today.
Thank you very much. Ms. Sharp, do you have any questions?
Yes. When you did this addition, did you redo the kitchen?
The kitchen is still in the same spot.
Yes, but did you redo the kitchen? Did you put in new cabinets, new countertops, new flooring?
I did the cabinets. I put on new doors. I put on a new countertop. But as far as I'm concerned, they're still the same. The kitchen before I did the demolition, it had a kitchen, and it still does. So it has maintained the value. It is not added to the value.
Did you replace flooring in the old area as well?
The flooring was lifted up at that time.
Okay. And how about windows? Did you replace windows in the old area?
I not as part of the renovation. 2 years after, I replaced the front window.
2 years after, which would have been what?
In around 2019.
Okay. Did you replace the bath?
Yes, the bathtub was replaced.
Is there only one bathroom or is there two?
There's only one.
There's only one bathroom.
Right.
And it was in the brand new area, so the whole bathroom was brand new.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you replace siding?
Yes, I got rid of the stucco and went with siding.
And did you replace shingles?
Yes, I did.
Did you replace a furnace?
No, I did not.
Okay. What year is your furnace?
The furnace was before the renovation, so the furnace was in 2015.
Okay, no more questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Deloro, do you have any questions?
For the applicant, I have
Yes,
one
for the
question. Yeah,
Okay.
I have one question. What do you think the value, you said you were maintaining the value. So are you looking at 249 to be more in line with what the assessment should be?
I figured that the assessment should be around 266.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Viray?
I don't have any further questions.
Okay, I have some questions. First of all, how old or what was in that original structure? What was in the addition? How was it being used? I haven't got a sense of what was in there.
There was a bedroom and a dining room.
So in this 704-foot structure,
Yes, there was an over excessive.
so there was
bedroom.
a bedroom and a dining room, and that was that.
Yes.
Okay. And how old was the old structure?
I believe 1942, 45. And the basement was made with cinder block. The basement, right? And part of it had concrete, and part of it was cinder block, and it was a cinder block that was coming in at the front of the house.
Okay. So you replaced the 704-foot structure with a structure of the same size, or was it bigger?
No, it was made the same.
It was made the same. Okay. And what is the use of the new structure? Is it also a bedroom and a dining room only?
No. What I did at that time is I took the big bedroom and made it into two bedrooms. And then the bathroom went over to that side, closer to the bedrooms.
Okay, so you did a fair amount of work to your home in addition to just replacing the structure. Would that be correct?
No. The thing is that to replace floor, like she's saying, replacing floor and replacing tile, that doesn't come down to I don't believe that comes down to the as part of an assessment. It's like I just explained that if you replace roof shingles, you're just because you pay $6,000 to $10,000 for a roof, it maintains the value of it. It doesn't increase the value. It's there. The reason why you replace shingles is so you don't get water in your house and damage your house and decrease the value.
Would you agree that a brand new shingled roof would have more appeal to a buyer of a property than a 20-year-old shingled roof?
Yeah, but unfortunately, yes, it would. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case of those shingles, the original shingles.
Okay. Did you get a building permit for the new addition or the replaced addition? And
Yes.
What was the value of that permit? Did you bring that information with you?
She has that information. The city gave it an evaluation of $45,000.
Okay. Okay, I'll look at that when the assessor raises it then.
Right.
I did have another question and it's lost on me here. So in addition to the work you did, you demolished the old structure, built back in the 40s, rebuilt the new one,
right,
reconfigured the bedrooms, and maintained the dining room? Or did you replace it with the bathroom?
I replaced it with the bathroom.
Okay. And so it would obviously be updated plumbing and fixtures and all that kind of thing going into there, right?
Yeah, it would be updated. Yes.
Okay. And then,
but it was still, I just need to explain that was still copper. You're still going from copper to copper. the house needs a bathroom, so I don't believe that it doesn't hurt the value, but it doesn't increase the value, it maintains the value, because you still need a bathroom in the house, right?
Yeah.
Whether
Oh, I would agree.
yeah,
I would agree. You certainly do. You certainly do need a bathroom. But again, would you think that an updated bathroom would be more appealing to a willing buyer of your property than an out-of-date bathroom?
Well, the original wasn't outdated. The bathroom, obviously, I didn't like the bathroom. Doesn't mean the bathroom was outdated.
When was it originally installed or last updated?
I know that the flooring was installed just before I purchased the property. The flooring throughout the whole house was redone, but it was a laminate, and I didn't like the color, and I didn't like the way that he installed it. So, and I couldn't get the same type of laminate after the fact. Right.
Right. Okay.
Things discontinue all the time, right? So I don't know. Like the flooring was in good condition when I bought the house. So
okay.
Yeah.
I just also have a question about your response to the assessor's offer for Monday to Friday, 9 to 4. I note that you didn't offer any alternative times like an evening or Saturday or Sunday. Is there a reason why you didn't offer any alternative times? Because I did see in the evidence that you just didn't believe there was a requirement or an obligation for you to have an inspection.
No, I didn't, but she didn't offer a time. She's the one coming to me to come into the house.
Yeah.
She's the one that's making the appointment. I'm just saying I don't understand why people I want to come and look at the house. It's the fact is that when I talked to Carson and I had that first phone meeting, he agreed that the assessment was too high on the property. And then if you look at my evidence, if you look at the email, I forward you guys an email that I sent to Carson. Said he asked me about the basement, and I sent an email.
Just wait. I want to take a look at that email, so I just want to go back and see if I can see it. I don't see it with your evidence.
That shouldn't be in
my package.
In the brief, Madam Chair. I can forward that if you want.
Yes, please send it.
Just a moment.
Yeah.
I'd like to take a look at it.
Yeah, because he asked me to take a couple of pictures and to send it to him. So I was cooperating with him in order to get a proper assessment, and in order to, because he told me that he believed that after talking to me that the assessment was too high because of the fact that he just thought I added on an addition and never demoed anything. So he asked me to take a couple of pictures for him. So I did, and I sent it off to the email address that he provided, which was in early January or somewhere in January or February 20th. And if they were truly looking for to get a true assessment, where were they earlier before they made their decision to go with 316 as their he could have, or Miss Tanya could have said to me, you know what, we want to do an assessment. We've recognized the problem and we want to do an assessment. But no one contacted me until 2 weeks before, until I have to actually pay for this, when the assessor already tells me that he doesn't believe the value is true.
Do we have that email, Mr. Secretary?
Is it this email where you're saying like Mr. Carlson asked you to send a few pictures?
That's the one.
Okay. But there's no, okay, I can just forward that.
Yeah, see, because the thing is that it comes down to it is that if they were truly looking at realistically changing the number from 316 to something else, whether or not they, if they wanted to maintain that number, the thing is that why are you coming into the, why do you want to come into the house? The only reason why is to justify your number, and you know it's wrong. That's what my belief is.
Do you believe that your home has increased in market value over the last 3 years?
Oh yeah, it has. House sales have gone up, and I do believe that the house has increased in value, but not to what they're proposing with the addition. Like that's why when the other, I'm sorry, I can't remember her name, when she asked me what my assessment, what I believe the assessment is, as I said 266. So obviously I do believe that it has gone up. It has gone up, but it hasn't gone up. And the reason why they're going up that amount of money is for the addition, which really did not add square footage to a house.
It's in that share folder, Madam Chair.
Pardon me?
I just put that email in the share folder.
Okay.
No picture on the email.
It's just that wording.
The word.
Okay, gotcha. So it just says, Carson asked me to send a few pictures of the basement. Here is of the basement. That's all it says.
That's all it says. There's no pictures.
But there's no pictures.
Oh, I thought that it would afford the attachment with it.
Okay. All right. Is there any more questions from members of the panel, or do you think we're done asking Mr. Collins some questions here? Okay. So we'll move on to Ms. Sharp's testimony now then.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay. The subject property, which has already been described, is a one-story single-family dwelling. Was built in 1932. After the addition, it's a 1,200 square foot building. It's got a full basement, one bathroom, multiple car garage, and it is on 6,000 square foot lot with light traffic. It's on Bonner, so it does receive a little bit of traffic. So light meaning it's more than just your average traffic, it's one step higher. As the applicant indicated, he took out a building permit, and if I could just read that, it says to demolish a 704 square foot addition. This is also attached in my evidence.
Okay.
To demolish a 704 square foot addition and construct a 480 square foot attached garage and a 704 square foot one-story addition to the west side of the house. Okay, so back in November of 2020, we actually contacted the applicant by phone and explained that we were going over the permit and we were making adjustments. And he indicated that the work was not complete yet. He said that he still needed to finish the drywall between the garage and the house, and that the interior work still had not been completed. He hoped that the work would have been completed by 2021. So we went ahead, removed the addition, added the double attached garage, and we added it as of January 1st, 2023. So we were giving him an extra 2 years to complete the work on the inside based on his word that he wasn't finished yet. As the applicant indicated, in 2023 RAP program, he did contact Carson. Carson reviewed and indicated that the applicant stated that the work was not complete because the HRV unit had not been hooked up yet. So at that time, we received no other evidence to indicate that there would have been an issue with the property the way that it was. So we went ahead and left the assessment the way that it was. Now I can go back to my comparable sheet. We went into the area and tried to find properties that were comparable size and in comparable area to the property. So we found properties, most of these properties were on Gilmore, 298, 244, 237, and 223 Gilmore. Now, the only thing that you'll notice with those properties is that the age is newer on the first three. After hearing the evidence from the applicant, I'm indicated we originally put a 1932 property as 1942 property with the addition. That was the effective age, saying that it was no longer looking like a 1932 property. We increased the age on it. After hearing the evidence that has been presented, I would say we probably underestimated that effective age. So I would say that the effective age is probably closer to the comparable properties that we're suggesting. Probably would take us probably closer to the 1970 area for properties. Basically half of the house was removed and completely replaced. The other half of the property was completely gutted and redone, according to the information we have. Now, I did include a blueprint that was included with the application for the permit. And what that shows is there's part of it that's a very dark line. That is the original house that stayed, the dark line area. But the kitchen, living room, and dining room were reconfigured. New flooring in there, according to the applicant. The lighter side is the 2 bedrooms and bathroom that were replaced. And then there was a full double car garage added to the front of the property. So after reviewing the information, we are asking that you maintain the value of the 2023 assessment at 316. In my opinion, we're probably underassessed at this point.
Thank you, Ms. Sharp. Mr. Collins, do you have any questions of the assessor?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Have you, you're saying all of my stuff is new. Have you gone into any of these comparable properties? Have you gone into any of them?
I have seen them on the MLS.
But you have not gone in then?
No.
No, okay. Okay. Now, all the properties say basement finished. How much does a full basement, fully finished basement? What would you give an assessed value to adding a finished full basement?
Oh, there's too many variables to guess that. I mean, it depends on the finish of the property. It depends on the age. It depends on the square footage. It depends on how it was finished. You can't just guess.
Okay, well then, can you give me any sort of if you took a basement that wasn't finished, and then you finished it because you, according to the city, you need a permit for finishing a basement. What would that add to an assessment?
I can't tell you that. As I said, there's too many variables.
Okay. Now, you also, in my property and another property, you say fireplaces. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now all 4 comparables say that they're all finished basements. You haven't given me an amount.
No.
Okay. Okay. So you have no guess as being an assessor. You have not even a ballpark figure as to what. Oh.
I don't.
Mr. Collins, the assessor has answered that question. She's unable to provide that information.
Well, okay. So the thing is that how did you Now, the thing is that how did you come up with adjusted prices for all of these properties?
The adjusted prices come from, we're trying to determine a value of the property on April 1st of 2021. And so the properties that are sold prior to that are adjusted based on the market. So it's a market estimation.
Okay. So there's no, it's no true formula. It's just an estimate.
It's a computerized valuation.
It's a computerized valuation. Okay. Well, I guess I have one more question for you. Is that you are assessing my property to 4 comparables with the pictures that did not come through, but were on there. One of the questions that Carson asked is your basement finished? And my basement is not finished. Where all the 4 comparable, the basements are finished. All 4. So that adds if I was to finish the basement, that would add 1,200 square feet of living space. That basement is not finished. So the thing is that I was wondering, would you still, knowing that information, that 1, the basement is not finished, and 2, I do not have a fireplace, would that change your assessed value of my property, knowing that information?
Yes, but we would need to have evidence of that. And I understand that that's probably what Carson was after when he asked you to send in pictures, but we never received the pictures. According to our information on your office or on your file, we never received any pictures, and so Carson left the value as it was.
Okay, but that was the email that I sent with those pictures.
Right, but we never received it.
I gave it to the email that Carson provided.
Right, but we never received it, so I can't answer that.
Okay, well, because I picked it up from my send file. It went to the email address that he provided me. So obviously it will affect the assessment, knowing that it's not a full
right,
basement.
and if we have an inspection, we can determine that.
Okay, well, I had pictures to prove that. So I'm done with the questions for her.
Thank you. Ms. Del Oro, do you have any questions of the assessor's evidence?
I have one question. I see from the applicant's email in February 2022, he says he submitted some photographs for Carson about the basement, and yet you requested a inspection. I think it was the 7th of September. You wanted it to complete prior to the 19th of September. Was there not, did you not opportune the applicant to have an inspection maybe done? He's saying he was working the 2 weeks prior to your requested times. Was there any time prior to September 7th that you might have contacted him to do an inspection? Like, why the delay, I guess?
We don't get the dockets any earlier than that. I contacted him as soon as I got the docket.
As soon as, okay, thank you.
I contacted him actually on the 29th of August, and he responded to me on the 7th of September.
Okay. Thank you, nothing further.
Mr. Verret, any questions of the assessor's evidence?
Yes, I have one question. So are you saying your basement is not finished?
No, we're asking the assessor.
I'm asking you. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Ms. Sharp, you're saying that the garage, was there previously a garage on the property?
No, there was not.
Or is this a brand new
garage?
So was the garage reflected in the previous assessment?
No, it's only in the 316,000. The previous assessment had no garage.
Okay. And there's only one other property then that does have a multiple car garage. What kind of, can you speak to the value of a multi-car garage?
A multi-car garage, generally the permits come in around the $20,000 mark, but it's
Okay.
been difficult lately because of the price of wood. So
Yeah.
the price of wood is very difficult to determine exactly what a double car garage would be, but
Mhm.
the permits come in around the 22,000 mark.
Okay. And that value, would it have been reflected in the building permit value?
Yeah, the building permit value was $45,000, and according to this, that was supposed to include the double car garage.
The double car garage and the demolition and reconstruction, right, of the building addition?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have as well. So I think then we've concluded with item number 7.
I would just like to give a little bit of a chance to rebuttal.
Sure.
That
Sure.
just to make sure that you guys know that the garage was done in 2018, and the assessment went from 235 to 249, which I assume meant the garage and the addition, because the additions were done before the last assessment, and that she has agreed that an unfinished basement will change the assessment.
Sure. And I would encourage you then to find a time for the assessor to come in and inspect your property so that all of these outstanding issues can be resolved.
It was resolved with Carson, because Carson knew about it. I was forthcoming with that information right from the very first conversation we had. So he knew that the basement was not finished. And yet in their assessment, they are months later, they're still saying that it's a full basement, and that's how they base their assessment and comparison on.
Right.
And a basement to finish a basement can run somewhere between $30,000 and $50,000, which would affect, obviously, and that's where I came up with the assessment of 266. Is because I'm taking off money for not having a finished basement and not having a fireplace. Because in the plant there are no fireplace.
Well, I definitely agree with you that there is disagreement over this stuff, the basement and the fireplace for sure. So there needs to be evidence either provided or provided again in this instance, because the assessor has said she doesn't have it and it wasn't in the file. So it either needs to be provided again or an inspection in order to make sure that your assessment is as accurate as possible.
Yeah, I've provided when I can provide that information, because it was on the email with the pictures, with the email obviously that I forwarded.
Okay.
Right.
Is there anything further you'd like to add to your rebuttal evidence?
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Sharp, would you like to speak to the rebuttal or present rebuttal?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. I think then that concludes item number 7 on our agenda. So, Mr. Kolinch, I understand that you're also the appellant for number 8, 1985 Elgin Avenue West.
Right.
Okay. So, are there any preliminary issues we need to deal with on this one?
No, there are not.
Okay. So, in this case, Ms. Sharp, you're up.
Okay, thank you. The
Thank
subject
you.
property, the subject property is roll number 07090728 000 1985 Elgin Avenue West, and it's located in neighborhood area 124 Brooklands. It is a 1-story single-family dwelling that was built in 1915. It is 709 square feet and has a dugout basement. So there's no basement finish, 1 bathroom, and is on a lot size of about 2,600 square feet. We currently have that property assessed at $92,000. I have looked into comparable properties in the same Brooklands area. One as at 1825 Ross West, one at 1812 Pacific West, one at 1850 Pacific West, and one at 1981 Ross West. These are all single-family dwelling properties. They all have either a dugout basement or a part basement. So part basement means probably not full height, just enough to have the furnace in the basement. The properties that I'm comparing to range from about 615 square feet to about 741 square feet. There are two properties, comparable 1 and 4, that have single car garages on them, but they are considerably older and have relatively very little value in them. All the properties are on similar sized lots, and the only difference is comparable number 2 is commercial adjacent. So these properties run with time adjusted value between $91,000 and $119,900. And we feel that with the information we have, we're requesting to maintain the 2023 assessment value at the $92,000 that we have assessed.
Okay, does that complete your evidence, Ms. Sharp?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Collins, do you have any questions of the assessor?
Yes, you say that the assessed lot size is 2,600 square feet. Can you give me the exact size of the lot?
I don't have that on me.
Okay. Okay, she doesn't have that. The thing is that do you have the information of what the last known sale price of that house is? Because it says subject sale at the bottom is left blank.
Subject sale is on all of we do that on all of our properties, but usually only in the last 20 years it shows up.
Okay, so
I don't know when the last sale was.
Okay.
I would imagine it was significant time ago.
Yes, okay. Yes, and then I also sent in submission is a bunch of pictures
Okay,
of the actual property.
we'll ask questions of Ms. Sharp's evidence, and then we'd be pleased to look at your picture.
The question I was going to ask is, do you think that property is, based on the pictures, do you think that property is in good or fair or poor condition based on the pictures that were presented?
Pictures haven't been presented yet. Did you want me to comment on that or wait?
Well, perhaps I know that probably within your files, you have a sense of the quality of that you've got on this property. You could speak to that without seeing the pictures. We'll look at the pictures after.
Okay, I have actually included a picture of the property from the front in my evidence. And from my evidence, I observed when I was there taking the picture that it's newer stucco, or at least painted stucco. The shingles are relatively new and the windows have been replaced. I did not see the interior of the property, so I don't know what condition that the interior of the property is in, but I would say that it is probably average or better than average condition for a property that is 1950.
Mr. Collins, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I see that picture. One of the pictures that I want to ask her a question about is right there on the front. The picture of the stucco that shows that it is deteriorated on the side. So I want to know how you can say that it's above average when you see that shows that the house is shifting. How can you honestly say that it's above average, in your opinion?
I've answered the question.
Okay.
Mr. Collins, do you have any additional questions?
No, I don't.
Thank you. Mr. Verret, do you have any questions of the assessor's evidence?
Yes. Tanya, have you visited this place inside? No, you haven't checked.
Not the inside of it, no. I did drive by it and I was the one who took the exterior picture. So I saw it from the front and from the back.
Okay. No further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Del Oro, do you have any questions of the assessor's evidence?
No, I have nothing.
Okay. No questions? Okay. Ms. Sharp, I'm interested, you've explained what a part basement is, but can you explain how that differs from a dugout basement?
I mean, there's stages between, but a dugout basement, basically, they wouldn't be using it for anything. You wouldn't be storing anything in it. It would just be dirt, basically a dirt basement. Whereas part basements often have like walls on the exterior there, but the height is usually under 5 feet.
Okay, so, but there's no utility to either one? This can,
Right,
like a
right.
furnace,
Right,
can a furnace
none
in
of them have a finished basement at all. They're no value, yeah.
okay, can a furnace be in a dugout basement?
Not that I understand, but probably in a part basement.
Yeah, okay. So you said in terms of value, both of them really don't have value.
It might be negligible, the difference.
Okay. And you've said you've only been able to do an exterior inspection of the property. Have you done an exterior inspection of your comparables?
No, but I looked at them on MLS. So I have seen the pictures of the MLS.
Okay. Okay, I note that all the sales are relatively new. Okay, that's all my questions. So, Mr. Collins, you can go ahead with your presentation, please.
Yes. First thing is that I'd like to put in the part that Ms. Sharp has forgotten. The subject property, so this way everybody has an idea of what the property was when it was originally bought, and no permits, nothing has been, not a lot has been done to it. The subject property was bought in 2000 for $9,500. So I'd like you to realize that. I know it doesn't have to do with assessment, but it does show you that it's not a very high-end property at all. The second thing is that the assessed lot size. I asked her if she could give me the dimension of the lot, and I know the lot size is 24.95 feet by 92, which doesn't even come close to 2,600 square feet. So she's assessing it based on assessed lot value, which is inaccurate.
Can you give us the quick math on that?
Well, let's see, it would be under 2,400 because you're going 24 times 92. So you're probably looking at about the 2,300, somewhere in there between 2,300 and 2,400 square feet. Because she would have access to that kind of information if she looked.
Okay.
Okay. There's been no permits pulled, so there's not been a lot of updates. There's been the last thing that has been done significantly was in 2016. The roof was redone because when I first bought the property, I had to redo the roof in 2001, and the shingles were 15 years, and I redid the shingles in 2016. So that's what has been done. The stucco was done also in 2001, so the stucco was nowhere near new. And as the pictures that I have presented show you cracking and shifting of the building, which unfortunately, unless you demo the building, it will always shift because the building is built basically right on the ground. So the building shifts and moves all the time. And I tried to repair the stucco last year, so because of the crack, And obviously you can see I took that picture and the stucco was cracked again. The problem is that house is not in above average condition as the assessor has said. And I refer to, as part of my evidence, I brought the pamphlet that was sent with the assessed value, and on it for this subject property is in number 4, and it says that the median market change, for 2023 is 5%. Now, you go from 77 to 92 is a lot higher than 5%. And it is my position, considering the state of the house and that the house has actually deteriorated since the last assessment, even though there is a 5% raise in it, because of the deterioration of the house, I am offering that the assessment stay at 77 to offset the 5% for the deterioration of the house. The electrical has never been replaced. It's a 70 amp panel. There is one very small bathroom in the place, which has never ever been done. So there has not been a lot done to this property in the years since I've owned the property. So I believe that the assessment should remain at $77,000 based on the condition of the property.
Does that conclude your presentation, Mr. Collins?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. Ms. Sharp, do you have any questions of the applicant's evidence?
Yes, thank you. So you've indicated that you replaced the roof or shingles in 2016.
Yes.
Okay, and the stucco was done in 2001.
Yes.
Okay, you said that you tried to repair some. Like, did you repair the whole building, or it's been that same gray stucco since 2001?
Been the same gray since 2001.
Okay. How about windows? Have any windows been replaced in the property?
There was one, but that was in 2005. The one along the side of the house in the dining room.
Okay, so all the other windows in the property are the original 1915 windows?
No, there were some that were replaced, obviously, before I bought the property.
Right.
I've replaced that window, and I had to replace the trim. If you look at the picture from the back, I had to replace that trim and that window also, bedroom window, because it was obviously rotten.
Okay, and it looks like from the picture that it's a fairly modern metal door. Just the picture here, it shows a picture of the door, and so is that the entrance door is not?
Yeah, it's an entrance door.
It's a metal entrance door?
It's a screen door.
Okay.
That's a screen door, yes.
Okay.
That was bought used.
Okay, so you replaced that as well?
Yeah, from the existing.
Yeah, in what year was that?
2016.
Okay.
With a used door.
Okay, and is the kitchen the original 1915 kitchen that was in the property?
That I cannot speak to. All I know is I have not done anything to the kitchen.
Okay, and the flooring is original 1915?
The flooring was replaced before I got. The flooring was replaced in 2001, and it hasn't been replaced since. So the flooring is 20 whatever years old.
Okay. So with the updates that have been done, as few as they are, with the updates that have been done, would you say that this house is an original 1915 house?
I can only talk from when I bought it. It's not going to be original 1915 because obviously back in 1915, I doubt that house had a bathroom in it. So there was at some point before I purchased it, there was obviously a bathroom and running water brought in at some point. Yeah, so I can't speak to, because obviously, I don't think in 1915 there was a lot of houses that had running water and bathrooms.
Right, but you.
I never did nothing to it since I've bought.
But you indicated it's probably not original, but 1950.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sharp. Ms. Del Oro, do you have any questions of the applicant's evidence?
I don't have any questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Verret, do you have any questions of the applicant's evidence?
Yes. When did you buy this property, Mr. Collins?
2000.
2000. And how much did you pay for this?
It was bought for $9,500.
$9,500.
$500, yes.
So since then that you bought, do you know how much did you spend renovating or putting in the house?
Well, I did the shingles.
Approximately.
I wouldn't expect more than, because I unfortunately I can do the shingles myself. So the last time I bought the shingles, they were like $1,000. So I wouldn't, $10,000 would be way over what has been done in the house since I've owned it.
And obviously you're renting this place, right?
Yes, I am.
Do you know how much you're renting it?
Yes, it's for $200 a month plus utilities.
Okay, no further questions. Thank you.
And I just have a couple questions. Just following up, you indicated you're renting it for $200 plus utilities. Has the house continued to be like fully rented the whole time? Do you have vacancy issues or?
No. The person that rented it all those years ago is actually still in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I heard you say, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you believe that there's foundation issues with the house. Did you suggest that?
There isn't a foundation. There isn't a foundation. It was just basically, I can't, because of it being a dugout, I can't get to the exterior to look underneath the flooring. But from what I can see, it looks to be almost like built on railroad ties.
Okay.
That's what it looks like it's built on. So
okay.
It doesn't have a foundation. The furnace the furnace is actually underneath, is in the dugout.
Okay.
Dugout. So basically, there's enough room for the furnace. So
and
basically, I can just hop down there, replace the filter, and basically hop back up.
Okay.
So basically, there's really no room for anything else. So obviously.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you suggested because there was a little bit of cracking in the stucco that was evidence of foundation issues. Is it what were you saying about the stucco again?
Yeah, it is
the cracks.
It's because it's built basically on the ground on railroad ties. So with moisture and freezing and thawing, the house shifts all the time.
Okay, I was going to say it kind of looks like my house.
Yeah, it shifts all the time. And realistically, there's not a deep. The only thing that you can do to stop the shifting is basically bulldoze the house, because it will never ever stop shifting. And probably the main reason why it haven't decided on what to do with the house is that the tenant the person that is in there has been in there from day one, haven't had a problem with it. So the thing is that it's not technically an issue for me as far as a financial one to kick this person out or whatever. Because when you pay $9,500 for a house, you know, obviously there isn't going to be a humongous mortgage or anything, so it's not after I pay the taxes, I got a few dollars in my pocket, and that's basically what this house is.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate all your information on this property. And do you feel that you would like to offer rebuttal evidence on this property?
No, just as my evidence, her assessments is based on the assessed lot. She should know exactly what the lot size is. She has access to that kind of information. So it's not right. And that's how she bases all of hers on. And so it's just a property that is not in very good condition at all. And she never did ask to come into the house to look at it if she wanted to see what the condition was of it. What I could have accommodated, because I just would have to give the tenants their notice, but there was no effort made on her part to actually, after I appealed the decision to even to ask to go into the house. So she's going on what she believes to be true and what the evidence is she should have known. And that's why I believe it should maintain the value that it is at.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. College. You've been very helpful today. Ms. Sharp, would you like rebuttal evidence?
Sorry. Yes. I just want to put forward that I don't believe $200 plus utilities would be a market rent. I understand under the circumstances, that's probably the rent that's being paid, and there's a reason for it. But I would say that I don't know what a market rent would be, but I can pretty much guarantee that it wouldn't be $200 plus utilities. I also wanted to address the 2,600 square feet. The 2,600 square feet is based on the survey that is given to us from land titles. So if there is an issue other than that, we need to be presented with that information in order to change it, because that is all in the system based on land titles information.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sharp.
Thank you.
And I think that concludes the evidence on item number 8. Thank you very much. Okay, so we will now go back to item number 4 on our agenda. Mr. Kumar, is there an applicant present for this item on our agenda?
No, Madam Chair, he's not still present.
Okay, so the board will now recess to deliberate with respect to item number 4 on our agenda. Thank you very much. I call the meeting back to order. The board has deliberated and will proceed with item number 4 on our agenda in the absence of the applicant. So Ms. Sharp, when you're ready, you can tell us about 123 Larry Vicker Drive and give us your evidence, please.
The roll number is 04-00725-4855, 123 Larry Vicker Drive East, and it's located in 417 Peguis, which is the area just north of the Costco on Regent. It is a newer home built in 2018. It is a 1-story, 1,247 square feet, and it has a walkout basement. The basement is unfinished, and there is an attached multiple car garage. It's on a 4,985 square foot lot, and it does back onto a park, which is why it has the walkout basement. Currently, we have it assessed at $414,000. I have come up with 4 comparable properties, all in the Peguis area. The properties run from 2016 to 2020, all in the 1,200 to 1,280 square foot range, all of them unfinished basements, all of them with attached garages. The only difference is our property, the subject property, has a walkout basement, where I was unable to find any comparables that had walkout basements. So the subject property is significantly superior to just the full basement properties. The square footage of the lot size are all similar. The only difference is that the subject property also backs onto a park, which again makes it superior to these comparable properties. The comparable properties, time adjusted, run from 400,400 to 423,900, and that is for properties that have no walkout basement and do not back onto a park. So we are asking that we maintain the 2023 assessment value at 414,000.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sharp. Ms. Del Oro, do you have any questions of the assessor's evidence?
No, I don't have any questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Verret, do you have any questions of the assessor's evidence?
Yes. Obviously, have you had a chance to check this place?
No, I did an exterior inspection, and the exterior picture is located in the evidence.
No further questions. Thank you.
Okay. And I have no questions, so thank you very much, Ms. Sharp. Let me just get to where I need to be.
Have a nice day.
Okay, thank you. We've heard all the items scheduled, and this hearing is now adjourned.
Yes, Madam Chair.